This thing f***s.
Big brush that you got there.
What are you talking
God.
about? Boom!
God.
What is up, guys, and welcome to today's video. You can tell by the thumbnail that we're going to be taking a nostalgia trip, and we're going to be working on my very first drift car in this video, but I kind of need to explain on why we're doing it. So this car, if you guys don't recognize it, this is my long-awaited Spec R EV1 Lightning Yellow S13, and as you can see, the boys just finished up painting the bay, so this will be the next large project that we'll be doing on the channel. I have a VVL engine for this. Everything is getting powder coated and zinc plated right now, but the biggest decision I need to make is what transmission I'm gonna run in this car. Now, although I'm building this to be like a really nice street car, it is going to be making upwards of 600 horsepower. There's no way the stock 6-speed is gonna hang. I don't wanna go sequential or dog gears or anything that's gonna be non-street car like. So in my mind, there's really 3 suitable options. One, the RB25 transmission, which I really like and have driven it behind SRs, but they have long gears because it's a 5-speed. And then for 6-speed, I feel like my 2 best options are either T56, which I don't have a lot of familiarity with, or the CD09, which I know I'm familiar with. I have it in multiple cars, and Mazworks makes probably the best adapter kit for it on the market for an SR. However, I have one very big problem with it, and I'm gonna show you what that is on my very first drift car. Watching this video right now, chances are you remember watching something with the S13 way back in the day, and also high likelihood that you've ordered something from my clothing store, lzmfg.com. For that, I appreciate you. I've taken it from shipping shirts and my mom's kitchen table all the way to its own shipping department here at the LZ compound, and all of that could not have been possible without the help of today's sponsor, ShipStation. It integrates into wherever you sell online, and it streamlines your workflow so your business can grow. If I had to pick 2 things about ShipStation that are my personal favorites, it would probably be the automations that you can implement to be able to print a bunch of labels simply just with a click of a button, and of course, saving thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars with their industry-leading discounts. And those discounts are up to 89% off USPS, UPS, and DHL Express. Over 130,000 businesses use ShipStation, including LZMFG and Drift HQ, and 98% of companies that use ShipStation for a year become customers for life. You guys know the deal. If you haven't tried ShipStation yet, you're sleeping. Use my link, shipstation.com/AdamLZ, and it's gonna get you a free 60-day trial. Once you try it, I know you're gonna be hooked. Work less, save more, and turn your shipping challenges into opportunities for growth. ShipStation is there for you. Just go to shipstation.com/AdamLZ, and I want to extend a massive thank you to them for sponsoring this video and helping support our businesses for many, 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 many years. Thank you. Now back to the video. Once a year, this car gets pulled out from the grave, and I beat the absolute shit out of it. Never skips a beat. Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't know the Cream S13, this was my first ever drift car. I bought it on, I guess it would have been Craigslist back in the day. Me and Jimmy found it. It was a stock SR swapped into a cream 240SX hatchback with like a pig nose front bumper. And since then, I've done my first donuts in it. I've made a lot of probably my biggest YouTube videos ever with this thing, and it's still with me to this day, and I'm very glad to have it. It's been crashed quite a few times underneath all of the beautiful bodywork, but I guess I'll bring you guys through what I would do for a car like this that's been sitting for a while. First thing, pop the hood, check the radiator, make sure there's coolant in it. Sometimes it goes missing and disappears and vanishes. Usually it's a personal problem, but yep, it's got that. Oil, I usually don't check. I just look underneath it to see if there's a puddle. If there's no puddle, it's probably okay. It's got a little bit of something, but that might be from another car. Okay, no oil underneath it. Tires, give them a good old kick-a-rooney. I think we're looking good. This car, and we'll get into it in this video. I have a lot of things that I'm not a fan about. Okay, see, like this. Rear wheels, not tight. Studs need to be fixed. Shout out to whoever left that note. We got a great communication system here at the compound. So we'll drive it slow. No abusive burnouts while we go over to the shop, but I guess we'll add that to the to-do list.
Yeah.
Bro, crack-free dash. This thing's pretty nice for like the shit it's been through. There's a lot of gripes I have with this car, but I'm so super torn with like, do I keep the nostalgia of the things that always bothered me, or do I fix them for new and improved things? And some of the stuff I'm just gonna say F it and fix. Other things I kind of want to have a conversation with you guys about, because I feel like this car means just as much to you guys as it does to me, and I think it's in everyone's best interest that we preserve it in the right way.
Yeah.
First step, Will she start? It's been on a trickle charger, so hopefully. It never really starts the best. I usually need to work the gas pedal quite a bit. Stock ECU life. Yeah, that's... Can you check to see the battery's connected?
It is not.
Okay. Alright. Fire in the hole. Probably 3-year-old fuel in here. Probably address that. Probably more water than fuel in the tank. Maybe you should change the oil. Come on, baby. Hold on. I'm always torn because you got to hold the RPM really high for it not to die.
Yeah.
But also that's the worst thing you can do to a cold engine with forged internals.
Old redneck cold start.
With forged internals, stage 4. Come on, baby, come on, come on. This is one of the things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Nope, nope, nope. Craziest thing is 9 years later, since I put these seats in this car, I still fit perfectly. Does that mean I haven't grown an inch? Or I guess it just means I haven't, yeah, I guess that's what that means. It's just so crazy to think that I mounted this seat 9 years ago and it still fits me perfect to this day. All right, so this car, I haven't seen it outside in a really long time. I haven't heard it. This thing f***s. Like, for a car that's as old as it was and styled back when I knew not nearly as much as I do now, it looks really good. And the thing is, like, I drove this car 1 year ago, pretty much. Actually, I think it would be over a year ago, at the LZ Invitational against Colette and like some other really serious, real deal cars. And this thing's still crazy competitive. Like, it blows my mind how fast this car is. I'd be curious to know what it weighs. I don't know if I've ever put it on scales.
We got them now.
Yeah, we can do that. We're in a real race shop now.
Yeah.
It used to be when I built this thing, but all right, I'll show you my biggest gripe in a second. But I gotta remember, rear wheel's not tight.
Yes.
No fun. Look at that dash, boy! I miss my old vent though, the metal one that I had. This drives me nuts with the glue.
Yeah, the 3D print.
Yeah, I should fix that.
Oh, I can hear the wheels.
I don't think that's the wheels falling off. I think that's my diff about to explode.
Ah, okay.
One of the two, or maybe the wheels. I love being a racer with this car, like. Alright, so I told you the topic of this is the CD transmission because I want to figure out if I want to do this in the S15. I will say, this clutch setup that goes with the Mazworks kit's an internal hydraulic slave.
Yeah.
Feels amazing. Like, very easy pedal pressure, very easy to manage, still lightweight. Just let it rev nice and spicy. The complaint though is this. The throw forward and back is good, but pretty much every CD shifter I've ever had I hate because the throw side to side, that's the gate between first and second. And I've actually lost drift competitions from misshifting these. For whatever reason, I don't have an issue in my R32 sedan that has the same shifter. I don't know if it's a left-hand drive, right-hand drive thing, but that's what we're gonna dive into today and see if I have a solution for it. You wanna know something else funny? This car is also still aligned how I had it back when I ran Texas Street Legal, and it was a Kenda KR20 tire, which is not a very grippy tire. So I cranked like an inch of toe in the rear of it. So I don't think I've ever fixed the alignment since then.
Really?
So that's why when I drive around, you just hear the rear end going. That's also why it's fast as boy. All right, before we dive into the topic, we're gonna give this car a quick walk around, judging it from today's standard, let's call it, of the builds that we do.
Okay.
I would say paint on this car is probably a solid 6 out of 10. It's actually not that bad. It just looks like certain areas need to be wet sanded because there's like little nibs and stuff in the clear. It has been repainted a fair few times, but at least all the panel colors match. Gotta shut that good. little body fitment issues that, to be honest, weren't always there, but it just kind of happens when you drive a car and it hits things. The rear bumper got a couple little scratches, and we got a little crack here from getting a little bit toasty when we were at the Invitational. Exhaust tip might be a little ricey for me, you know, sticking out a lot.
Sticks out a little bit.
But overall, if you just like take a step back, the visual impact of the car is really good.
Yeah.
I think the rear is a little sunk, and I think that's because my studs aren't long enough, but we can fix that when we tighten them. Not by backing them out, but by changing them. And then the front, I think, is maybe a little bit high. But overall, it's a pretty dang good looking car. I think the kit flows nicely. Yeah, the wheels are good. I've tried other wheels in this car, and just nothing's hit as hard as... You know what I've never tried on it?
What?
Bronze TEs.
How have you never tried those on this?
Because I've never been able to afford them.
True.
I still don't think to this day I have the right spec for this, and I think the only two 17-inch bronze TEs that I had, I just put on my E36 in powder-coated silver. All right, under the hood. This is where it's going to get into the bigger discussion of like things that I want to redo and don't know how to go about it. Fun fact, I had Alberto make this bracket forever ago to hold the bumper on. We just never painted it. So like that's one thing that always drove me nuts, that I always wanted to just paint this stupid bar.
Yeah.
Because I see it and it's rusty. And then of course like we could go 10 out of 10 and we could vapor home things, because I think this got mostly like, you know, the silver spray can back in the day, and where I have rubber hoses, we could change these to hand lines, but it's like, what do you leave to preserve the nostalgia and what do you update? I feel like it would be a good conversation to have with like some of the people that own like old historic JDM cars, because to me it's kind of like the same mantra. It's like, how do you keep the spirit alive of the car but also have it be modern and reliable?
Yeah.
But the biggest topic is this right here. The fact that this car still runs on a stock ECU is sick, and it's honestly, it's driven across the entire United States. I almost said world. There's one in Australia, but it's mildly different. It's literally been up Pikes Peak, but the problem is at different elevations and everything, the stock ECU isn't the best at compensating. So I've been so torn, and back in the day when I wanted to put a standalone on this, I actually ordered one for it back in like 2018, and I got scared just because a lot of people were having rocker arm issues with the limiters back in the day on standalones. Now I don't think that's an issue anymore, but that's one of the things that I'm on the fence about, because this is like kind of a flex.
Yeah.
To still be like RS enthalpy chip and it's stock ECU, car runs, rips good. It just, you know, it surges on idle sometimes and has other little hiccups that I'd like to address, which we could do on a stock ECU. But interior-wise, I will say, pleasantly surprised at how clean this is. This was like the old school LZ spec for all my drift cars. Had to have front interior, door panels, a cage that wasn't really that wide because I wanted to keep as much of the door panel as possible. But overall, like, the dash isn't cracked. There's maybe some missing things here that I'd like to add, but overall, like, it's a pretty good looking interior. Yeah, I mean, it's got a radio. I got a little sub under the rear seat. This is pretty sick. It's very clean looking.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore. I mean, I guess we kind of do. It just looks different with like the half interior in the front. I guess another thing too that I'm kind of on the fence about is like these seats, right? I think this was one of the first parts I ever bought for a car. In fact, I still have the old invoice. I'll put it on the screen. I ordered these seats back when I was at my mom's house up in Connecticut. She doesn't even have that house anymore. I don't even remember the year, but it was a long time ago. I want to put brides in this car just because I'm like a JDM boy now, and I actually bought a set of red ones for it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, these seats belong in this car.
The nostalgia.
Yeah, like if I took them out of the car, I would never do anything with them. I would just want to like put them on a pedestal.
Right.
So it's like, do they stay in the car, or do I put brides in to be a little bit more, you know, JDM? I think now as I grow older, I'm leaning towards keeping the seats in the car.
Yeah. This is a car that I could see being like upstairs where the pool table is, like as like a...
I've thought, man, like I've thought like if I ever did one of those, you know, events where people go with all the low cars and drift, I don't know what they're called. I feel like it would be cool for me to bring this.
Yeah.
Like this would be the car for something like that.
Yeah.
Even over
sure.
the green S15. I just would need to make sure that there's the people that I'm driving with are not likely to total the car, because I'd cry. But then again, it's been totaled so many times, it could always get fixed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if the basketball's still in there. I think we removed it a long time ago. For a while, I think it was back when I was stock body, I had a basketball holding this quarter panel out. Oh, I thought that was it. It was just like a chip bag or something. What is that? Uh-oh. I pulled this out and the quarter panel moved underneath it.
Is that an AutoZone receipt?
Colorado. Four-wheel alignment on a 240SX for Trevor Jameson. That's Motion Auto TV.
Oh man, that's funny.
Paid $70 for this back in 2017. If one of you guys wants this piece of history, leave a comment. Just any comment. I'm just gonna pick a random comment. I don't know if it's gonna be a funny comment, a meaningful comment, but I'll sign this and I'll send it to you. I might cross out my VIN though. I don't know if I want to give that away. And Trevor's phone number, or maybe I'll give that to you. We'll see. I think the craziest thing is with how much I've drifted this car, how little chips there are in the paint.
Yeah.
Like 90% of drift cars, you look at the cage or even any track car, they just get absolutely hammered. I was so particular about always using moving blankets whenever I put anything in this car, because I used to street drive this to drift events, so we'd have like multiple wheels and tires, like 6 wheels stacked up in this thing. Jacks, tools, everything. Still perfect. I've been broken down on the side of the road with this thing so many times. It really bothers me that I didn't cut out those speaker boxes. But I'm not going to do that now because then I got to like repaint and match.
Yeah.
But that is one of those little things, you know, that always drive you crazy after the fact. Mm-hmm. Wait till you see underneath the car. That's where the real yikes happens. I also feel like I've said this many times in the videos, but if you don't know, the way that this car came about was actually me getting a 2JZ for this car because I was sick of SR things and thought I needed a 2JZ, and then got convinced into a 3.4, so I was going to be putting a 3.4 2JZ in my very simple and reliable drift car. And then I went over to Japan, learned that like low power cars and seat time was really the move for getting good. Got back from Japan, got a Z, and then decided I was going to leave the SR in this, and that's when I bought an S13, which would eventually become the car that made me decide, oh, I might as well try this Formula Drift thing. I did one lap at OSW and was like, oh, I can kind of do like a qualifying line, and then also realized that no one drives pro cars outside of FD, and then kind of had like this massive weapon with nowhere to drive it, and that's how I wound up in FD, just because I didn't want to ruin this car. So yeah, we'll put it up in the air and then I'll show you what we're working with. Great opportunity to show off Griot's track spray, available on lzmfg.com. You guys know them, love them. They make some of the best detailing products, and the track spray is great if you go to the track and you want to get rid of some rubber that's on the side of your car. See rubber now with a little bit of love. Good as new. All right, here's where the real fun begins. Fun fact, I think I really messed up this exhaust when way back I actually removed, it had, I think it was not a muffler, but it had a resonator somewhere in here. And I was under the impression that that added a lot of back pressure to the car. I don't think it wound up making any difference when I got rid of it, but it made the car really raspy. So I really missed what it used to sound like. Which is weird because this looks like I added the resonator back, but it still sounds super raspy. We did actually order full titanium vibrant materials to do this car in 3-inch vibrant with a actual vibrant titanium muffler. I think, at least to me, if as long as it sounds better than it does now, which is like a little bit too raspy, I think that would be worth getting rid of some of the nostalgia, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Johan's so gangster at welding.
Muffler if you want to get rid of the raspiness.
Yeah, so it used to not be as raspy, like it was always a little raspy, and then I got rid of a resonator at one point, and it looks like we might have added one back, but it's still just like, it's just too annoyingly raspy. It sounds good, but like that's one of the few things I'd like to change.
It sounds better than Green S13.
Way better than that.
Yeah.
It's just different tones. Like that one sounds like a Japan SR. This one sounds like an American SR. What? Yeah, because like back in the day in Japan, they used a lot of like unequal length manifolds that had like the rumbly sound, where like the nice tubular top mount was like something you had to be like really good at fabrication. So like Australia has good fabricators, US has good fabricators, so SRs would sound like this.
Fair.
I do have logic behind my argument. This is getting a little, actually it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's not great, but compared to how rusty it could be, I would like to do some rust repair. I mean, it's a pretty nice car. Yeah. It's not as bad as I thought. I thought like this thing was gonna need a crazy rust repair, but I think even just doing like bed liner in the fender wells and patching up a little bit of rust and like, it'd be pretty good. But man, I guess we've seen some really bad cars to where like now this doesn't look that bad.
Exactly. And it's been sitting inside, so.
Yeah. This thing's a gem, dude. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Good rig. Not too bad. That's about a year ago. It's only driven like once or twice since then.
Old SB.
That's power steering fluid. It smells like nostalgia. Did you ever go to a tanning salon when you were a kid?
No.
Well, they always smelled like this. It's like,
Oh, weird.
like coconut kangaroo.
Yeah.
You know that? You know what I'm talking about?
Whatever fluid is that, why does it smell like coconut?
Kangaroo, specifically.
You putting scented stuff in your oil again?
So the plan was to use this bracket. This is from Mazworks, and it actually uses like a stock style shifter to get the throw good. Problem is, when I line this up, we're gonna basically have the shifter sitting an inch farther back. In like a non-street car, it doesn't really matter. It wouldn't affect the fuel whatsoever, but it's gonna not look good with the factory trim, and I definitely don't want to do it in my S15 that I'm building. So I actually just called up Serial 9 because it's always puzzled me why this shifter in this car has like no throw side to side, but in my R32 sedan, it's actually pretty good. And it turns out they actually updated the shifter sometime in like 2019, 2020, and the new version actually has a much better throw. And conveniently enough, I think we have some in stock at Drift HQ.
Dog.
Ah.
He hunts for his prey.
Just so you know, the fact that we have not one, but 7 CD999 shifters in stock is crazy. These things are always back ordered, very convenient for me. So the plan is, I'll install the new version. If I like it and confirm it's good, then we'll just put that in the S13. It makes my life a whole lot easier than trying to do something new. Before, I got probably 20 to 30 paintballs behind my seat. Oh, they are leaking a little bit. Inside the glove box, we've got a nice classic Polaroid. This was back when it was painted the wrong color and it was a little bit too pale. I don't know whose car it's next to. That's a cool one. We got a lucky $2 bill. The blank button that's missing over there.
Well, there you go.
I like that. I got my vent too. We'll fix all that. Love it. Love to see it. Got some registration, BC Racing sticker. This is my ex's friend photo in here. We can throw that out. That's a little weird. That doesn't need to be in here. Yeah. All right, back to work.
God. Holy, bro. Whoa. I haven't seen some shit like that since Ian.
I know. Look at the pond already.
I know. Soaked.
Fucking forward.
I know.
Well, I ain't driving home yet.
I'm not quite sure why this trans tunnel was cut, because I don't think it ever needed to be. But check this out, Mike. Look at this trans tunnel.
Is that a smaller doopy?
I think this is, it feels like the material of like an aluminum can, but I want to add a disclaimer, I might have been the one that did that. Because I think it was just like a bunch of heat was coming up through there and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
I would love to just actually repair this trans tunnel. I think Sean actually might have a shell. Maybe I could cut it from.
Yeah, true.
Part shell. You know we got to powder coat this while it's out.
Yeah.
I think the metal's folded back. Why would we have cut the trans tunnel when we didn't need to?
Homie, I wasn't here when that happened.
I know it's not you, but I'm trying to
because
think.
you probably had an old shifter style on there that was further back.
Maybe I had a stock shifter at first.
Huh?
Maybe I had a stock shifter at first. It feels like the old metal's there, but it's just like rolled back.
I don't know. I mean, maybe the old shift, the column shifter. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I had that shifter.
I know that means.
Cut it and then we changed it after that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to put a new shifter on this thing. I'm gonna drive it every day. I'm gonna daily it.
Yeah.
For sure.
From the house to the shop.
Yep, for sure.
Might as well take a lap on the compound.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of a cool photo.
Spooky. Oh man.
Sorry.
Oh.
That was me. I leaned on the light switch. We thought the power lost.
Power.
Doesn't it just make you want to cuddle up by the fire and watch Netflix? There's like a weird part of me that wants to drive in this.
Yeah.
Just like hydroplane everywhere. It usually drips a little bit when you pull the drive shaft. You don't need to drain the fluid when you pull a drive shaft, but I've definitely misshifted this a lot, so I'm using it as the time to just put some fresh fluid in it. Oh, that fluid looks pretty good.
That looks pretty new there.
Damn it.
And you are collecting it, so.
True. That looks pretty good, doesn't it, Johan?
Oh, you don't drive the car.
Yeah, I probably changed it like right before I drove it last.
You should have saved it. That's expensive.
I mean, I kind of did. I cleaned out the pan a little bit. How expensive are we talking? Over $100? You got a coffee? You got a coffee filter? I'll strain this.
Nah, it's like $60
for a change.
4 quarts, yeah.
All right, so.
All right.
Fun fact: back in the day, this is what I used to do. I feel like I was contributing when the engine was coming in and out of my car. Drive shaft bolts. I was the shifter guy and the drive shaft bolt guy. Made me feel like I was a part of things, you know. This was actually the first engine I ever pulled all by myself. Was this one?
Really?
Back at my my old house in the garage. I was so proud. It only took me like I think like 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It was really quick. Yeah, this car is really easy to work on.
Dinky drive shaft you got there.
What are you talking about? It's a normal drive shaft.
Yeah, sure. Let's compare it to the that car.
It could be a little bit lighter though. Might need to hit up Drive Shaft Pro and see if we can get a carbon fiebre one. Carbon fiebre. ¿Cómo se dice en español?
Carbon fibre?
No, esto.
Cardan.
Cardan?
Yeah.
Cardan de motor. Cardan
I'm
grande.
probably pronouncing it wrong, but
Cardan grande.
Cardan.
Cardan grande.
Sí.
Sí. Sí. ¿Cómo se dice heavy?
Pesado.
Cardan
pesado.
grande pesado. Bonita.
Well, I think I'm 90% sure this one is stripped. Okay.
Well,
So
it's probably hill coiled or something because it's a bigger bolt. Not stripped. Not stripped. If you're wrong, sucks for you. If you're right, sucks for me. Not stripped. We're doing good. This is so weird, by the way. I don't think I've worked on this car much on a lift. 90% of my time was like working on my back at like friend shops and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember doing a clutch on this in Jimmy's like old shop.
Yeah, with the Haggard boys.
Bro, it sucked. Trying to get it in, dude. Back then it was tough. Oh, that was nice, bro. That shit has to be hill coiled. It's a bigger bolt too.
Okay.
I hate this. What kind of psychopath uses one of these without the nub? Literally. Did it come like this or did it break?
No.
Okay. That makes you feel a little bit better. What are you doing? All the other ones are, all the other ones are with the FD box. Look at this. You can buy this. There we go. I'm curious to see, like, I guess we probably have to take it apart to see all the changes, but I guess some stuff was redesigned internally that just increases the throw side to side. Also, worthy mention, if you do have one of the old Serial 9 shifters, they will rebuild this into the exact same spec as the new ones. You just send it to them with 150 bucks, and then it's essentially upgraded to what this one will end up feeling like. Let's see, bushings, same. This design looks to be the same. I heavily advise you guys to put some knurling on this. I've had issues with this slipping out. So putting some like kind of surface scratches in here just kind of will increase the biting force instead of it being slippery. That is not a Serial 9 endorsed thing for me to say, so don't submit a warranty claim if it doesn't work. But I did that forever ago and it worked better for me. Johan, that makes sense, right?
What?
I do it with BMX parts. Putting some knurling on this, like some scratches, that way this grips better so it can't slide.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so do that. Johan verified. I was hoping that this thing didn't change, but I was advised to change this part on the transmission as well, just to make sure that all the tolerances match. This is a little guy that goes on the shift rod. Those annoying little things you gotta hammer into it.
Oh yeah.
All right, so visually from the outside, let's see how much different it looks. This now looks to be like one piece versus this one has like kind of like some like weld marks in it. Almost like this was like bent differently. The stack height on this one looks similar. This looks like it comes down a little bit lower maybe, but I think where everything changes is actually internally inside of this thing.
I wonder if you could almost just press it with the vise.
Good idea. All right, you're good to go. Yep, it's going. Good idea, Mike. Are you going in the right hole?
Yeah. I don't think there's another hole you can put it through.
Ain't that the truth? Everything was going a little bit too smoothly, and I was even using a hand ratchet just to avoid the possibility of stripping one of these trans bolts. I got the new shifter in, and sure enough, this one was good, this one was good, this one was good, but this one just kept spinning. Kind of makes sense. I think it was stripped before because there were a bunch of threads on the bolt that I noticed, but obviously you don't notice it if it comes out. You only notice it when you're putting it in, right? Something like that. When a 10-minute job becomes a 2-hour job. Womp womp womp. At least it still comes out. I explained what to do for you guys if you want to do like the knurling, just by kind of like sanding and adding grooves, but Johan took it one step further and he actually added a set screw. So there's no chance this rod will ever come out. Same thing with this. So basically, if you don't add the knurling and you don't tighten it enough, you could shift and it could just go whoop. And that could also happen here, so gotta be careful, but great idea with the set screw.
Yeah, no, and it's like pretty much fail proof. So we could put some blue Loctite on it and then Yeah, this one will be able to clock, but in this car, since it fits almost dead center, you can just put it straight back and then set this one up, and then if you need to pitch it, you still can. But at least this one, which is the one that holds the actual shifter handle, I drove into the shifter itself so that the set screw could just go in, and then some Loctite on that, and that won't come off.
Sick. I love it. It's funny, one of my favorite things when working on cars is like getting a new car, or I should say like a used car, and just fixing stuff with it that we would have done differently. And we're basically doing the same thing with a car that was built so long ago. I mean, even now I'm like looking at things and trying to resist the urge to fix them. So like, we gotta fix the wheel studs, but I'm looking here and I'm like, man, it'd be real easy since the metal's still there to pull this off, bend it back, and then if you want to put a couple tack welds real quick, that would make me really happy. I think I might do that. Let's give it a shot. Interesting. The cool thing is these holes didn't go through the chassis, they just went up here. But this doesn't look like it'll be that hard to kind of pull out and bend back and give it a shot. I do have the option of cutting a piece out of one of Sean's shells that he offered to me, but I'm committed to keeping the original metal in this car. The only problem is it looks like I used a cutting wheel that was about 2 inches thick, so we're gonna have to talk to the old MIG welder and see if she can fill in a gap that large. So is that a fillable gap or?
A fillable gap?
Yeah.
Find another chassis and just well play on there.
I mean, Sean said I could probably steal one out of his if that's easier.
Yeah, no, that's a big gap, but this, I mean, we could remove the shifter and get more space.
No, I mean, I'm not worried about this gap. This I can close up. It's just this slit.
Oh, it's all ate up.
Yeah. Johan tag teamed it on the bottom. I hammered up here, and the gap now looks closable. I mean, no gap's too big to fill, but this one might have been a little bit pushing it.
Might not be able to use the TIG on this one, but the MIG will do it.
Definitely no TIG up here. Sanded it down a little bit to try to get it ready for Johan to weld. It's not the prettiest, but the gaps are almost closed. I've been using the little ball peen on the back of the hammer, just giving them a nice little and it's been doing the trick. So yeah, we're looking good. I kind of neglected to talk about the shifter. I would say, I need to look back at the footage. This is definitely more side-to-side travel than it had. I would still prefer it to have more, but I'm not sure it's possible with the limitations. The problem is because of how close this sits to the shifter rod, you can't get a lot of room for actuation. Not terrible, but the cool thing is with these shifters, you can basically locate the reverse lockout, and for drifting, you can make it into like a 4-speed. That way you can't get over into the 5th and 6th gate, which is helpful, but still, I think it's better than what it had, but testing it will definitely tell us the truth.
Yeah, listen, it'll fly out.
That's true too. So the axles had play, so we're probably gonna switch those out. I've had a spare set of axles for this car for like, God, these have to be like 6-7 years old. I think it had like 600 horsepower axles in it. These are the 1,000 horsepower drive shaft shop ones. Is it needed? No, but we have them. You can see how much girthier they get. You got to be careful though, because we ran into an issue on my Skyline where they started to contact the coilover, but I think that's just because of some weird stuff I did with the lower control arms. Got a little extra girth. These ones just had play in it. Can we show it out of, or is it kind of hard?
You could feel it. Not as bad as it's in the car, but
yeah,
there's play in it.
Just take our word for it. What's the stud situation? Were they just like broken?
Yeah, so, well, not broken.
This car's lost a wheel a couple times. Most of the times have been off camera on the street, but it has happened.
So the only thing I could think of is like, this is the OEM hub, this is the aftermarket hub. This one has a better grip on the stud.
I mean, they probably just got knocked loose when the wheel fell off. Mm-hmm. I might even have like replacement hubs too. The hubs feel fine?
Yeah, I mean.
5-lug swap?
Yeah.
Back at it again with stealing parts off the shelf of Drift HQ. We got two options. So these are the correct ones for the car. These still look like the same length. We got these ones that are not correct for the car, but they're so minimally larger that I think it might actually work because mine are already wallowed out to where we could just press these in, and then I'll get a nice longer stud. So nice. What do you think? I think it's like 0.00 something different, like width, bigger.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Johan brought up a good point that on this car, because I have one OE hub and then one ISR hub, the studs are different lengths on each side. So God forbid we get into a scenario where we're like stacking spaces or something, someone could not catch that one side has less thread. So we're gonna go ahead and swap the other side to have a matching hub, and then this one we'll just keep as a spare. I'll put it in the box and just mark good OE hub. It'd be great if we had a dry ice blaster, but as you guys remember on the Porsche, the Grios multi-purpose citrus cleaner is gangster for when you have a situation like this and you want to get everything looking nice, fresh, and shiny, especially when you have certain things that are painted and you don't want to risk them getting damaged by brake cleaner. I don't even think we'll need a brush for this. This overspray always drove me nuts on the springs. This is like one of the times when we repainted the car. Check this out though. This was my very first set of BC DS series coilovers when I started drifting. Old logo BCs, baby. Pretty crazy. Dude, I've got spider web in my wheel well. That's pathetic. That's really sad. That's a first. That's like a drifter's worst nightmare.
Spider.
No, dude. You got cobwebs in your wheel wells. That means you ain't sliding. John, el tubo de escape no funciona para nada. Está rompido. ¿Dónde está el máquina por la circulador?
Para abrir un círculo.
Sí.
I just had it. Hold on.
Gracias, tío. This has driven me nuts. I think that was that time when I did the wall ride and Jimmy jumped into space.
Yep.
You remember that?
That was a good clip.
Quite a bit better. Got a little spot I'll see if I can fix up here. Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're eating Thai today, baby. You thought I was about the tikka masala. Wait till I get some Penang curry in me. Yep, it's working. Yep, it's working. Yep. Yep, perfect. That length is perfect. Yeah. Yep.
Now we weld it. So the studs, even if they think about getting loose, at least the weld will keep them there. And now I'm just gonna drift in the compound. It's been like what, 4 years since it drifted this here?
Here, compound video?
I think
The reveal
maybe.
video? So 3 years?
3
No,
years? No, it's been longer. No, it's 3 years.
2021,
Yep.
yeah.
I've been here for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that the fitment is tight. Check out the axle to shock clearance when you got the 1,000 horsepower axles. So
God.
this side cleared, the other side didn't, just because of the traction arm length. Fun fact on S chassis, a good way to get a little bit more grip. When you lower the car, you mess up some of the geometry. And what you can do to correct that is actually lengthen that upper traction arm link. So I believe factory, they're like 8 1/4. I think going up to 8 1/2, even like 8 3/4 can give you some of, I want to say it's anti-squat that it adds back, but don't quote me on it. It's just like a old school S chassis thing. If you got a low car and you're looking for more grip, lengthening that can make a pretty big difference. So what we're doing right now, I feel like would technically be like stage 1 of refurbishing this car. Stage 2 would be like fixing some body panels, painting things like the front crash bar, redoing things that are a little bit more aesthetic. And stage 3 would be like full powder coat, prismatic powder, zinc coating, dry ice blast, the whole 9 yards. So stage 1 in progress. If you guys ever want to see stage 2 or stage 3, comment below. Let me know what you want to see on this thing. But yeah, I will say I'm stoked that this car is not as grimy as I remembered. Underneath, I thought this thing was going to be so rotted, but it's in pretty good shape considering the engine. Final look before I put everything back together. Certainly not OE fresh, but it is using the existing metal and it's not that ghetto piece of aluminum anymore. Plus, got a brand new prismatic powders coated stone black ring that now lines up perfectly, so the shift boot should land on there real nice, keep all the heat out, and also fire too, so that's cool. Now, anyone that's ever had a auto to manual swapped car or a different transmission in a car knows how insanely satisfying it is to have a brand new boot freshly powder coated shift ring, and have everything line up and seal the trans tunnel perfectly. Also, got to give props to Serial 9. The new shifter has this 3D printed piece here that holds the shift boot in place instead of having to do some weird stuff and zip tie it. This literally could not be more perfect. All right, we've now successfully completed many things of which no one will ever see, but you guys know. It was cool kind of getting to give this thing some love again. But of course, we cannot end this video without some celebratory test strips. And I do have a fun fact. The last time when I drifted this thing at the Invitational, when I went up against Colette, it actually was probably down by 100 to 200 horsepower. We found that the throttle cable had like a rubber bushing that broke, so the throttle was only opening like 50%, which is usually like 75% power on a turbo car, but she should feel spicy. I mean, why would that change? We can only do so much. Classic helmet for this thing. Got my classic gloves. Stopped right in time. Thanks, dude. Thanks, car. That's the really big one thing. I really want to put this on a link ECU, but also the MAF is a flex. Curious your guys' input on that. It'd be nice. It'd probably make a bunch more power too. This thing runs like pig rich, but it's kept running for this long, so that's why I've not wanted to really change anything. You know, sometimes the way the potato crumbles at the end of the day is better than a bird in the hand. All right, let the record hold, even though this thing has a spicy alignment on it right now. I'm on some pretty loose tires. I just grabbed what we had laying around in the shop. I'm honestly running short on time. I've got to go to the airport for FD St. Louis in like 30 minutes, but can't work 2 days on a car and then not get to enjoy a lap or two in it. So I also know you guys have sat through this whole long video of me doing dumb stuff to a car. You probably want some sort of satisfaction at the end to see this thing ripping again. So we're both in the same boat. Come on, car. Oh, is that axle hitting? Something's weird. We're gonna let the shocks clearance themselves. Just want to make sure it's not running lean. My air fuel gauge looked a little bit spicy, so I'll do a quick hit where it has traction. I can't tell if it's running lean or not. Are my fans on? No fans. I think the wire might have just come unplugged. Remember how I said I mounted the seats myself? Yep. They have a recline feature. I think the seat bracket is broken.
Really?
Yeah, because the seat's moving, but it's...
But the bracket's not.
Oh, the bolt came undone, or the bracket's broken, one of the two.
That's fun.
We got enough to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
So when I was putting the center console back together, I didn't remember where any wires go because there's like 8 million of them. I put one in the wrong spot and it shorted out the cigarette lighter fuse, which also supplies power to the switch that sends power to the relay that controls my fans. So that's why I didn't have fans. As to why it's running lean, I'm leaning towards this gauge, just needing a calibration because it didn't feel like it was running. It was like reading like 14.15.0, but it was feeling really, really like...
Yeah.
So, I mean, they say lean is mean, but to me it sounded clean. So it almost feels like my wheel's falling off, which I know isn't the case. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to just drive through it. I'll do a couple hits real quick for you guys, then we'll assess the damage. These axles are so thick, I don't know how you make them work. What if the tune is off because I've been driving with my throttle pedal not going all the way down the whole time, and now that it's all the way open, it's running lean? That would be crazy turn of events. I just want to get like one good rip to see how fast this thing feels, despite the rear end wanting to kill itself. All right, I feel better about that. This car is fast! I gotta be careful, there's water there. It's also really hooked up on the rubber line. Woo! This thing is hooked up. I kind of want to turn the boost up a little bit now. Can I turn the boost up a little bit? I'm gonna turn the boost up a little bit. I just want to be able to pull third, you know? Make a little bit of smoke. This thing is so fast.
It looks fast.
Even on not grippy tires, it just moves and scoots, you know? I turned the boost up a little bit just because I couldn't pull third, so hopefully now we'll be able to pull third. Let's find out. This car is so fun to drive. What did you say about your bumper? I forgot how long the back S13s are.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I really got to put it on a standalone.
Yeah.
It's so rich that it won't pull third gear. I'm trying so hard and it's just like, it wants to slip the clutch instead of pull third.
Yeah.
Don't go forward.
Did I hit the bumper?
Yes, you hit the bumper.
I couldn't tell.
You couldn't tell.
I'm trying to drive it. I'm not gonna drive it like
You doing more driving?
I think that's good. I'm supposed to be packing as of 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little recap outside the car while it cools off. All right, I think that checks out. It actually randomly went from running lean to running pig rich, like 10 O's. I should probably add that I did clean the fuel filter, and it actually, look, we've been making a really good habit of this car since it sits for so long of cleaning the injectors and fuel filter every time it runs, so I think that helps. Overall though, I'm curious what you guys want to see with this thing. This was supposed to be just testing the shifter, which I kind of lost focus on. I honestly need to pay more attention to that. My brain just went into focus on everything else mode, but it's a good car. It definitely gets my adrenaline going. I'd like to drive it a lot more. I think it's honestly too hooked up for the power that it makes right now. It was really challenging to drive, but it feels sick. So hope you guys enjoyed seeing this thing back out as much as I did, and we'll see you in St. Louis.